The rules of the friend zone have never once applied to me. I went to high school at Fort Pierce Central High School. And there, I met somebody who became a friend of mine for a long time, named Brad. And Brad looked like the Oompa Loompa. He knew it. We all knew it. Everybody seen it. The dude looked like an Oompa Loompa. So we called him Oompa. And so, I don't remember what year it was, but I had known him. It was at least 10th grade or some shit. And he comes up and he says, hey, I started dating this girl, Ashley. We gonna go meet her tonight. It was a Friday night. We gonna go meet her tonight. We're all gonna go hang out. So I said, bet, I'll go. And it was me, it was Oompa, a couple other people, and this one dude, Mike. Now, Mike, I used to call him Susie Sweet Cheeks because he was my bitch. So it was me, Susie Sweet Cheeks, Oompa, maybe a couple other people. And we go out and we go to the mall and meet this chick. And her name's Ashley. So, Ashley's fine as fuck. And I'm looking at this little short midget motherfucking Oompa Loompa looking dude. Now that's my dog. But I'm looking at dude. And I'm like, how the fuck? With this fine at? Okay. If you could do it, I could do it. So shout out to Oompa for being my inspiration. But I digress. So, time goes by. And I met her a couple times. We got together. We got to know each other a little bit. And time goes by, and Oompa says that they broke up. So I'm hanging out one night, and Ashley's there, and I get to talking to her. Well, I kind of like chick, but Oompa my dog. So I go home that night, nothing happens or anything, and I call Oompa up. I say, Oompa, hey, you and Ashley done, right? And he said, yeah. I said, look, man, I kind of like chick. Is it okay if I holler at her? And the dude says, yeah. Yeah, go ahead. If I'm done, yeah, don't even worry about that shit. Now, keep that in mind. The dude said, yeah, go ahead. So I said, bet. Come to find out, chick like me, too, because it didn't take nothing. I called her up, and she was happy to hear from me. So I start kind of dating this chick. And now, every time we go meet up and shit, I'll ride out to the mall to go meet her with my cousin Kim. As soon as Kim parked the car, Kim out the car, Ashley in the car, me and her in the back fucking. And Oompa don't like this. Now, this is the same dude that told me, yeah, go ahead. You didn't think your boy could get it, did you? But he was mad at me for a long time. But I asked. Man, look, all you had to do was say, no, leave that alone. Let it alone. Maybe. So I don't really remember what happened. When me and Ashley, we stopped seeing each other for a little bit. And around this time, I started dating this chick, Michelle. And Michelle went to a different high school than me. I went to Fort Pierce Central. Michelle went to St. Lucie West Centennial. So one night, there's an Insane Clown Posse concert of all motherfucking things. And we go out there and we fucking have a good time and shit like that. And we got school the next day. So the next day, we wake up. Now her brother go and drop her off at school and then take me to school. So we go to drop her off. And I walk her to a class. And I go to say goodbye to her and shit. And the teacher's not there. Like, the teacher just didn't show up. There's no substitute. There's no teacher. But they had a teacher's assistant. And the teacher's assistant was my homie, Guido. So, shit. I just walked into class. Chilling here. So, I'm chilling in class. Now, my hair is looking all weird. I had long hair at the time. And it was done up in fucking spider legs and shit. And I still smell like Faygo and shit. So, I'm sitting in this class about halfway through that first period. Now, at Central, the first year I went there, the vice principal there was a man named Mr. Williams. He ended up leaving there and became an administrator at Centennial. But me and the vice principal got to know each other really fucking well that first year. So he knew who the fuck I was. And apparently he had seen me going to class. So about halfway through the class, here he comes walking in with the SRO of the school, and he points me out and he's like, hey man, you go to this school? I picked my head up, I looked around, I said, shit. Nah. So they arrested me. And I get arrested in class. I'm 16, 17 at this time, so it's a little slap on the wrist shit, but I get arrested. and take me down to jail. They book me, they release me, my sister picks me up, whatever. Because of this event, I got expelled from Central and Centennial. So I got expelled from a school that I was never enrolled in. But they both expelled me. But I had another option. There was Port St. Lucie High School that I could go to. And I had just moved into the jurisdiction to be able to go there. And that's where Ashley goes. So I go to school. And I'm starting to meet new people and shit, you know, in new school and shit. But I know a bunch of the people there already, like Ashley's friends. And every day, man, like, I would get like 30, 40 notes from this chick. I mean, just piling up, just want to talk to me. And you know what I'm saying? Chick was fine, and she was cool as shit. And kind of my whole thing was, I'll go to PSL and go holler at Ashley some more. But in the meantime of that, I started hanging out with this dude, Gabe. And Gabe was driving and shit. I wasn't driving at this time. And he started picking me up in the morning for school. Now, we would go to school, but really, we would just go in the morning to pick the people we was going to skip with that day. And when that first bell rang, we was in the car and we was gone. And every day, Gabe would always be picking this girl, Tony. This girl, I think her name was Kayla. And Kayla's boyfriend. So, to digress from the Ashley story a little bit. So every day, we're skipping out to school. And at 8:15 every morning, we high. I look, it's 8:14. I'm gonna tell you the truth. 8:14 every morning. I would look at the time, and like, as soon as I got stoned, I'd look at 8:14. Well, one morning we wasn't. Ain't no one had no weed. So I said, look, lunch period comes around. Let's go back up that school. We went up that school for lunch. I borrowed $1 off of everybody I knew. I said, hey, let me get $1, get a drink. I walked out that bitch with $50. Went and bought a hat. So, but we all chilling every day. You know, the four of us. Well, one day, Kayla's boyfriend wasn't at school, so he didn't come with us. It was just me, Gabe, Kayla, and Tony. And Gabe liked Kayla, but just nothing was going to come of that shit. So, Gabe and the other, we chilling at my house, actually. We're skipping school chilling at my house. And we're sitting in my room. And Gabe's in the other room doing something. I forget what he's doing. Maybe making a phone call or some shit. And I'm in there with Kayla and Tony. And they're, like, we're just sitting there I had a little bed. It was on the floor up against the wall. And we're all just sitting there. And I'm in the middle and shit. And Kayla looks at me. She's like, hey, if me and Tony double team you gonna let us see it? I don't know what the fuck came over me. But I just started busting out laughing. Like, up until this point, I had no interest in these people, and it just threw me for a loop. The first thing I could do is go tell Gabe, you heard what this chick just said? It was the funniest shit in the world to me at the time. But the next day I'm thinking about that shit. I was like, God damn it. But Kayla's not there that day. It's just me, Gabe, and Tony. But Tony likes me a lot. So I already know. So I pulled Tony to the side. I'm like, hey, look, I know Kayla ain't here, but... So, Tony ends up giving me head and shit. And and she fucking shot herself in the face. I had no control over that. She did it to herself. But to me, that was what it was. But to her, we were dating now. But okay. It is what it is. So, me and Tony kind of dating now. In a couple days, it's the same thing. You know, we're skipping school, we're just smoking out and hanging out and everything like that. But one day, Tony ain't in school, so it's me, Gabe, and Kayla today. And Kayla's boyfriend. So we pull up. There's a little music store out here. We pull up over there, and Gabe and Kayla's boyfriend goes in there. I forget his name. Forgive me. I forget the dude's name. I can't. Be happy I remember the females' names in this story. So them two go inside, and it's me and Kayla in the back, and I'm thinking the same situation as the other day. I'm like, hey, look, I know Tony ain't here, but you want to see the motherfucker. So we in the back of the car, and she's got her hand like all the way in my shit, all the way in my shorts. And here they come walking out. Now I see them, but she don't. She's concentrating on other things. So I see them coming, but for some reason I just couldn't bring myself to say anything. So they get in the car, and she jumps off of me. And her boyfriend looking back like, just looking, but he don't say nothing. So the very next day, we're skipping school again, and once again, Kayla's boyfriend wasn't with us. Me, Gabe, Tony, and Kaylin were chilling at this dude's house. So we all smoking shit like that, and I'm hanging out outside smoking a cigarette. And Tony comes up to me, and she says, "Hey, Kayla wants to watch me suck your dick." Bet. So we go in the back of Gabe's car, and Kayla's in the front seat, and she turned around, and she looking and shit, and Tony, whatever. And Tony pops up, she's like, "So, do you like it?" Acting like she ain't never seen it before. It was so hard not to laugh, but I held it in that time. But so all this was happening. Me and Tony ended up breaking up and shit like that. But this whole time now, I'm supposed to be... The whole thing was I was going to get with Ashley again. So I start talking to her again, and she's a little upset about the Tony situation that happened and shit, but there's some shit that happened. And, but we get to talking again, and she's come over to my house and shit like that. And this chick has the craziest father that I've ever met in my motherfucking life. The first time I meet him, she's at my house, she's got to get picked up. He coming to pick her up. I used to live across the street from a park. And so we go to meet him over there in the park, in the parking lot of the park. And he pulls in. Before the car even stopped, he's out that bitch yelling and screaming and cussing, talking about he gonna fight everybody and shit. Fucking bananas. So, I'm not getting involved with this chick. That's too much. That's too much of a problem. But I do like the chick. So we stay friends. But I'm not getting involved. Years pass. And I talk to her on and off, here and there and shit like that. We both got our own lives at this point. We're doing our own things. But years pass, and I don't even remember how I started talking to her again. But it had been a while since I talked to her. It's probably like fucking AIM. Y'all remember that shit? It was some shit like that probably. And now she living down south, and she working for this place and shit like that. And she said she misses me and shit. She wants to come see me. So I said, yeah, well, you know what I'm saying? Friday coming up, just come down here Friday. You'll stay the night, whatever. So chick comes Friday, and at the time I didn't notice it, but when she showed up, she had a lot of shit with her. A lot of shit for one night. But I didn't notice at the time. So we hang out that night, we fucking all that shit, and we get to talking and all that. And so the next day comes, and I'm thinking she gonna leave, but we're hanging out all day, so it's whatever. So she stays that night too. You know what I'm saying? Saturday night, she stayed that night too. Now it's Sunday. And she's still hanging out. Okay, well, you know what I'm saying? We'll hang out for the weekend. Maybe she'll leave tonight, but she don't leave that night. And Monday come around. And Tuesday. Then Wednesday. And I'm like, I think I just got kidnapped. But it was weird because looking back, like that was a kidnapping. I was kidnapped. But I must have had like early onset Stockholm syndrome or something, because just one day I noticed that like all those like, oh, I gotta go do this turned into we gotta go do this. Say, instead of I gotta go to the store, it's we gotta go to the store. Who the fuck is we? But anyways, apparently we're together now. And I'm okay with that. It's cool. Her dad seemed to have calmed down a little bit. I mean, we're hanging out with her cousin and shit like that. In fact, the story I told about Frosty, I believe it was the last one that I did, was that's her cousin. So around this time of my life, I was fucking up. I was in and out of jail a lot, and my dad's dying around this time too, dying of cancer. So I get locked up and I get out, and just in time for my dad to pass. Now, right before my dad passed, I went to Ashley. She was living with me. She knew my dad. And I told her, like, yo, my dad ain't got much longer. She said some shit to me. She was like, I don't care. And like, okay, maybe you don't. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't. But like, don't say that shit to me right now. You know what I'm saying? So I was hot, and I held that grudge for a long time. So my dad passes, and I end up back in there. And I'm still with Ashley. So I get out of jail earlier than expected. All this was over violations of probation. And this time when I went to court, the judge was like, yo, you did more time in jail off of this charge than I would have given you if you didn't have probation. So he gave me time served, revoked, and terminated. I was out early. So I'm calling everywhere trying to get a ride. Well, something struck me. Let me try calling my cell phone. So I called my cell phone number, and Ashley picks up. I'm like, yo, I'm out. Can you come get me? So she comes and gets me. And we go, her mom works at school. We go and see her mom and shit real quick. And then we go to my house. And now, I'm fresh out of jail, you know what I'm saying? I'm wearing what I wore in that bitch and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, actually, to tell you the truth, the shirt that I went in with was a white t-shirt, and they let you keep that, but my shit, I washed it in the sink, and I hung it on the vent to dry, and the motherfucking 12 came in and took that bitch down and threw that bitch out on me. So I didn't even have a shirt, so I had somebody else's shirt. They just gave me somebody else's shirt. The bitch was like a motherfucking extra medium, okay? Like, the bitch looked like a belly shirt on me, and I'm walking. So I go home, I'm trying to change out my shit and motherfucking get my clothes on, and I have nothing there. Now, she was living at my house. But while I was locked up, little 19 days, she wore all my clothes, brought them all to her mom's house to wash them. I had a washer and dryer. Fuck you mean you brought them to your mama's house? I still ain't get them clothes back. I had to start brand new. So I was hot about some things. And around this time, too, I'm hanging out with my homeboy Tommy, shout out to Tommy Jersey, much love to you. And Jason Paul, a guy named Jason Paul, I'm hanging out with him a lot. And so one night I'm out, Ashley ain't with me. I just told, hey, let me go hang out with the boys for tonight. And I'm with Tommy and Jason Paul. And somehow my homegirl Liz Jones got brought up. And man, I love this girl to death. And they decided she's gonna come hang out with us. So she come and hang out with us. Well, Tommy leave. It's just me, Liz, and Jason Paul. And Jason Paul didn't live that far from my house, walking distance. But it's late at night and we've been drinking and shit. And so we're all just gonna crash there. And so, Jason Paul had an extra room. We're going to get at Liz. I was going to stay on the couch. Jason Paul had his room. So he goes into his room, and Liz come out, and she's like, yo, I don't want to stay in here alone. Shit. I ain't proud of it, but I went in there. And we start fucking around a little bit and shit like that. We don't fuck that night. But we don't. And, but we fucked around some. And, I mean, I turned my cell phone off and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm wrong for it. I wake in the morning, I turn my phone on, and I'm expecting this shit to have 100 missed calls, a bunch of text messages and shit like that. No, there's one message from Ashley saying, I just hope you're okay. Bet. So I walk home, and I go see her, and she don't even ask no. Look, let me tell you something about this girl, Ashley. Let me break it down real quick. This chick was so goddamn real. I fucked this shit up. Look, I had a job where I worked from 6 at night till 6 in the morning, and I took a break at 1 o'clock in the morning. This chick would take me to work, then go home. Then when I go on break, she'd come back to my job, which is like 30 minutes away, about 25, 30 minutes away. So on my break, she'd come back with food for me and whoever I went on break with, and weed already rolled up for me and whoever I went on break with. She'd chill with me that whole hour, then she'd go back home. And she'd come back when I got off at 6. And pick me up and take whoever my homies was that night home if they needed a ride, smoking out the whole way and shit too. Chick kept it real. And so that bullshit, I stayed over there with Jason Paul. She never questioned me not one time. She had to have known, but she just wore that shit. Kept it real as fuck, always. And I still regret this shit. So I'm throwing a party, and people that knew me back then know that my garage was the party spot. It wasn't no Friday and Saturday come party. Tuesday we partying, Wednesday we partying in that garage. So like every other night we partying, bitch, and it's a little more live than usual. And a bunch of people came, including Liz. And so there's one point now the party's been underway for a minute. People have been drinking, they smoking. Now people are starting to separate into little groups. You know what I'm saying? People want to go smoke. They want to smoke with everybody. So 4 people will go over here. 3 people will walk down the street a little bit. Got a couple people on the couch chilling. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? So the party's spreading out a little bit. And I go talk to Liz. I'm down at the end of the driveway, actually up in the garage. And me and Liz talking and shit like that. And she starts flashing me and shit. So she's flashing me and shit, and she starts kissing me and shit, and then she pulls away and pulls her shirt down real quick, so I already know. Ashley right behind me. So Ashley comes up behind me, and she just puts an arm around me and shit, doesn't say a motherfucking thing. Well, at the same party, 2 other girls were there. 2 girls that were dating. One is my homegirl, Portia. The other one was her girlfriend at the time. I think her name was Rachel. I don't know. well, apparently during this time they had been looking for a dude to go in the mix, and I guess Rachel had decided that I was the one that they wanted. And at this point, like, because of the things I had mentioned before with Ashley, like I was done anyways, so I was looking for any fucking reason. But Ashley there and shit, it ain't gonna happen. So Rachel comes to me and tells me about this. She says, "Look, something needs to be done about this. What can we do?" I said, "Look, come back on Friday. Ashley won't be here, I promise." So they say bet. And so everybody knows that Friday is not going to be a big party at my house, except Ashley. And when Friday comes, all day I'm picking fights. All day. Any little thing I'm picking, I'm getting hot, I'm slamming shit for no fucking reason. In the back of my head, this is funny to me, and I'm portraying a character of somebody who's fucking mad all fucking day. And come a couple hours before people, you know what I'm saying, they're supposed to arrive, I'm like, "Look, we're just not seeing eye to eye today. Why don't you go stay at the homeboy house, in our mutual friend Tom, and shit, somebody I trust and shit. Why don't you go stay at his house tonight? I'm gonna stay here. We'll both just stay away from each other for the night, and we'll be cool." And she's like, "Bet." And she takes off. And then Portia and Rachel show up. And so we hang out, we're drinking for a while and shit like that, and we end up fucking around a little bit and shit. So the next morning comes, and I wake up in the morning with them, and in my head I said, "Look, these chicks got about 2 cigarettes up out me, and then they gotta go. I'll go smoke 2 cigarettes with them, and then they gotta go." But I get up in the morning, we go outside, we got smoking the first cigarette, and get about halfway through the motherfucker, and Rachel's like, "We gotta go." And I was like, "Shit, yeah, you do. Fuck around, like, look at the time." So they get in the car and they pull out the driveway and they go down the street. As soon as they hit the turn at the end of the block down the street, here come Ashley around the other corner, pulling in the driveway. Blah. Perfect motherfucking timing. Could not have gone any better. I felt like a motherfucking superhero. So Ashley gets out of the car and I'm ready. We're breaking up. But the most fuck shit I ever did, I used the excuse. It's like, "I know you fucked Tom last night, so we done." G as fuck. They probably never even did nothing. I don't even know. I have no idea. I don't care. I just wanted to use it as an excuse. G as fuck. And G as fuck. Ashley kept it real as fuck. Didn't say a motherfucking thing. Just said, "Okay." And went about her business. So, a couple weeks go by. Me and Tommy Jersey, we're going to go hang out under the causeway. Do some fishing and shit. And some people over there, we're going to go drink with them and shit. One of the people there is that girl Rachel, who apparently is now broken up with Portia. And it's only like a couple weeks out from the shit. And so fuck yeah, I'll go chill with her. Shit, I'm single now. We go out there and she wanted a specific bottle. I brought it to her. And this chick is a motherfucking bitch. She treats me like straight shit. She straight shits on me the whole fucking night. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, yo, I don't really give a fuck. But like, I mean, just let me know what happened. And she's like, "I wasn't going to tell you this, but me and Ashley go way back. And that whole shit was a setup. God damn it." So Ashley was setting me up, but kept it G as fuck, and never said a motherfucking thing about the shit. As time moves on, I get in that long relationship that a lot of y'all know about. And with that person, we have our ups and downs, and we little breakups and shit like that. So during one of these breakups, Ashley, who moved back down south, said she was in town visiting her parents, which is right around the corner from where I was staying. She's like, "Yo, I got this little bit of weed. You want to hang out?" And like, man, I'm thinking, I'm like, man, this chick did everything in the world for me, fine as fuck. She cool as shit. Still to this day, look, Ashley, none of this is meant to disrespect Ashley. This is just telling the truth. Ashley still to this day is my homie. I got much love for her, mad respect. And I'm thinking all these great things about her. So I'm like, yeah. I ain't got the whip. She ain't got a car. So I was like, "Look, man, ain't that far. Just walk. I'll meet you halfway." She's like, "Bet." So I wait about 45 minutes before I leave the house. And I start walking. So she almost here by the time I see her. "Oh, I didn't mean you were going to start walking now." So, but now, as I'm walking up, now I see her down the street. And the second I see her, all that excitement that I had built up to see her just drained from me. And the only thing I could think of was, oh, no, not this bitch again. And it has nothing to do with her. It has to do with that history. Because like I said, she cool as shit. But just as soon as I saw her and knew what the fuck that I was about to get myself into, no, it was a problem. Like, y'all, just all that shit flooded, all the shit I did, it just all flooded back. So it wasn't cool. So we get to my house and we sit outside. Now she smoked a couple bowls with me and she's wanting to go inside and go in the room. I got my room, but I was like, yo, I'll stay on the couch. So let's just chill right here for a little bit longer. Smoked a couple more. I ended up smoking her whole bag of weed. And then, so we out of weed. There's no point to be out here no more. She's like, let's go inside. I was like, shit, actually, man, I gotta go. So I didn't even walk her back. I just let her walk back too. Like, I feel horrible for that shit. So around this time, I was working on beating an addiction that I hadn't beat yet. But I was telling her I beat it. So the very next day, that long-term relationship person comes back. And we worked that shit out. And we back together. And we both need to get some of that shit. And we ain't got no money. But I had a Hatchet Man charm. You know, from Insane Clown Posse, Psychopathic Records. I used to listen to them. I don't know more. So I don't know what the fuck do I have this for. But I actually been talking about wanting to get it from it. Because it was one of the original ones. And so I told her, I was like, yo, I'll give you the charm and the chain, $60. She said, bet. Now she thinking that I'm coming, we gonna pick her up, and me and her gonna go out and chill somewhere. But no, I ain't tell her nothing. I pulled up with my girl, so she jumped in the back. We gotta take her to the bank to go get the money. And as soon as she get in the car, she hot. You could tell she hot, but she finna buy it. She bought it. We went and dropped it off, and she ain't talked to me never again for a long time until she's married now. She lives out in Vegas with her husband and shit, and they are happy, and I'm happy for them. She ain't talked to me for a long time after that shit. And that just goes to show you, people, man, that, look, man, sometimes the realest motherfucker you know ain't the right one, but they might be that real motherfucker. So, as she my homie down, and because she my homie, I can say this shit. Her and her husband share a joint Facebook account. What kind of fucking banana shit is that? I feel like, and his name is Andy. And Andy, if you were the one, if she made you do that shit, that is entirely my fault, and I apologize. That is 100% my fault. I am the reason you are not allowed to have your own Facebook account. So, sorry and shit.